What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, and today we are taking a look at the Wulin's new Vanguard, Tiandi. Now, initially, I didn't think I would like Tiandi that much. Just seeing him, knowing it was a Vanguard, I was kind of like, whatever. Another Vanguard. I don't really play Vanguards as is. But as it turns out, he's actually a lot of fun. He feels more like a hybrid between a Vanguard and an Assassin, just based on how dodge-centric his kit is and how fast he is. Like, these are my out-of-lock, my dodges in combat, and given my Vanguard experience is mostly Raider, that roll speed is something reminiscent of like a Zerker or a Shaman. On top of that, we have very fast consecutive attacks coming in. They're not guaranteed, but they are really quick. And probably my favorite thing about him is we have this knockback kick, which is just like kadoosh! Like, you are sending people off the planet with that thing. But either way, we're going to go in-depth into his moveset real fast, kind of looking at everything here. And then we're also going to be looking at his feats a little bit later. So first up, we have 4 different chains. We have light, we have light, heavy, we have heavy, heavy, and we have heavy, light. And while they are simple, all of them are pretty effective. The light, nice and fast coming out. The heavy light, real nice as for a follow-up. The other two, I'm not as big of a fan of. I'll kill him real fast to reset his health. So you can see get the speed on that one, whereas the light into the heavy, I feel like you're just asking to get parried with that. Like they see, if the light hits them, they're going to be going for the block. And if they see that heavy coming out, now this is obviously some decent for feints. Feint that second heavy, and then go for the parry right there, which could be nice. Very showboaty execution. Moving on from there, we have as I mentioned, very dodge-centric moveset. We have tiger dodges and dragon dodges. Dragon dodges involving the heavy attacks, tiger dodges involving the side or the light attacks, and they both go forward and side to side. So the tiger dodges are the light ones. We kind of have this like Mortal Kombat shadow step thing going on. Very fast. We can also go follow it up after one, and what's happening there is we're actually able to, we can cancel the light recovery with the dodge, but you can cancel the light recovery and then do that dodge into a dodge attack like that. As for the heavies, we get hyper armor on the forward one, and the side ones we have this very wide arc. As you can see, a dodge is just about everything. And what's interesting is you'll notice that when I dodge to the left, the attack comes in from the right. When I dodge to the right, it comes in to the left. Very reminiscent of kind of the Kensei side dodges, but even, a wider angle. Like, you will dodge just about anything that's coming your way with that attack. Last thing we have is Palm Strike, which can be followed up with a light attack or a heavy attack. Taking a look at that, kind of reminiscent of, Warlord Headbutts, if you will. But, however, the heavy attack is not guaranteed out of it. The light attack is. From my testing, at least, it seems like the light attack is guaranteed. So he's blocking to the left right now. I'll have to make him block to the top, probably, to fully test it more. As for some more in-depth stuff, going up to the top here, as you can see, after a basic light attack or tiger dodge, you can always do a palm strike, whereas after a heavy attack or dragon dodge, you can do the dragon kick. So, pretty standard stuff here. You can go into the palm strike anytime you do a light, whereas anytime you do a heavy, you can follow it up with the kick. And that's whether it connects or not. Even if the heavy attack is blocked, you can still follow it up with the kick. The kick is not guaranteed from what I found so far, but still, if it connects, as you can see, quite a bit of stamina damage, and you're sending them flying back, which is probably the biggest thing. Another thing which I found really nice is after that kick, as soon as you can do the dodge, if you can get your dodge forward into heavy, it seems to be guaranteed heavy, basically. Like a punish off of that kick. Right there, as you can see. From what I've found, at least, everybody I've fought with Tiandi, I've not found anybody that is able to get up in time to avoid that coming out for the kick. As for some other things, we have a lot of cancels going on here. As I mentioned earlier already, you can cancel after the basic attack into a dodge or a dodge attack. You can also cancel the kick into a dodge or a dodge attack, and that works for both the tiger and the dragon dodges, which is really nice. Flow like water also counts there. You know, I can go for the let me get them up to show you, but I can go light straight into the dragon dodge to the side. So, you know, as I mentioned at the start, very, very dodge centric. You can also cancel that. I know it's silly, but it's a dodge cancel into a dodge cancel into a dodge cancel. You can cancel the dragon side dodge with a dodge or dodge attack. So it's pretty silly what's going on here. You know, we have, you can see we're gliding around like you know, a figure skater on ice or something. I mean, it's really cool to see. It's a bit ridiculous, and I'm sure it'll be super irritating. Yeah. You can't do it infinitely though, which is good. Otherwise, could you imagine how freaking annoying that would be to deal with? Oh, you can do it a long time, but you know, obviously you're gonna bleed out stamina doing shenanigans like that. Eventually, you're gonna get parried and someone's gonna beat your ass, but it's so stupid. Aside from that, only other thing left mentioning is the zone attack cancels, as well as all the extended dodge we've already went through. Very good, you know, dodge range on that, and you'll see that when I turn the bot on. And then the zone attack cancel, you can just hit B to cancel. Well, you have two swings on it. After the first swing, you can cancel out, or after the first swing, you can hit X and go straight into your kick, which I think is probably going to be an easier way of hitting the kick than heavy into kick. So anyway, let's turn the bot on, and we'll just fight it for a little bit, a couple minutes here, just to kind of give you an idea of what a Tiandi on Tiandi fight looks like. Got some decent BM potential as well, which actually, let me go through that real fast, because I do feel BM is important in For Honor. So our unlocked BM, pretty good. We can... I like it. Our locked on BM, we got the shimmy. Not the best. But it looks kind of like he's like, give me a hug, give me a hug, come here, Scallion, give me a hug. Ha! I like this one though. Any emote where they actually like say something, I always find those fun. The other one's not as good. There's one that's kind of like a T-pose thing that's going on. Check this execution. Wow. Gotta have that camera pan. Alright, listen, if you're just gonna parry all day... And the one thing I'm unsure about, from what I saw earlier at least, it did seem like there was a crushing counter-strike maneuver somewhere in his kit that's unlisted. I'm not sure how to do it, but I swear I had people doing it to me earlier when I was doing Breach. Dodge heavy, into the dodge light. Got him. I can get one more at super low health. Uh-oh, he parried. But he doesn't know how to follow up on his moves. Otherwise he would have killed me by now. Oh, there it is. And we're dead. So, from here at least, we will wrap things on up, quit on out of this, and we'll take a look at the feats for the character. So before we jump into the feats, one thing I want to note is that touched base with a couple other folks, and it turns out that what I thought was a crushing counter-strike, it's actually superior block on our tiger dodges. So those the light dodge attacks to the sides and forward, you get superior block on, similar to how the Warlord does. But either way, jumping on into the feats, and the feats are pretty interesting for Tiandi. We have a couple of old ones and quite a few new ones that are really interesting in my opinion. First up in our tier 1 branch, we have Rally Call, which is a passive, and allies gain strength based on how low your health is. Come at Me, allowing you to heal and get extra renown from kills, but take more damage from attacks. And then lastly, Tireless. Now, Rally Call really interests me, mainly because I'm curious on how big of a strength boost this is. There's a lot in Tiandi's kit to facilitate kind of a low health playstyle, and if this is active at, 50%, that's going to be pretty significant. If it's active at like 20, I don't think I'd pick it up. Come at Me, definitely an interesting choice here, especially because it's an active use. You could find somebody that's low, pop Come at Me, go on, kill them, get that renown boost, and then just move along. Tireless, always a decent go-to choice. Moving on from there, Sacrifice. Now, this is one that I really want to find out more about, and at least on the test, at least, not too many people are playing with things like Firebomb and Poison and whatnot. They're busy testing out the new characters. But when it says Cleanse Allies, I'm really curious to what extent that cleanse works. Are we talking bleeds, poisons, debuffs, fire, all that stuff? Because if so, this is going to become one of the most insane feats in the game. Aside from Sacrifice, you have Marked for Death, kind of a standard one, and then Doom Banner. But Sacrifice definitely sounds like it has some really, really ridiculous potential if Cleanse works in the way that I think it will. Tier 3, From the Brink, passive, life leech when less than half health, definitely a solid pickup. Battle Cry, always a decent one, just to help clear out B on Dominion, but probably not the best. And then Protected Revive, which sounds pretty ridiculous. Revive becomes uninterruptible, and on top of that, when you revive your ally, they get a shield. So definitely a really strong choice, especially kind of given, how 4v4 is, and especially in the Breach archetype where going down is what will cause you to lose the game, and you have a limited number of lives. Uninterruptible revive and shields to your allies is huge. Into our final area, Indomitable, gain a shield when you drop to critical health. Morale booster, damage for you and allies. And then lastly, Last Laugh, dropping that high damage grenade when you're executed. Personally, not really a fan of Last Laugh in any scenario, because most of the time, you die in an execution. Unless you're ganked, which even then, usually, if I'm getting ganked, it's usually an unblockable. It's coming in and finishing the job. But personally, I'd say this is probably going to be my go-to Indomitable, Protect, Revive, Sacrifice. If Rally Call turns out to be shit, I'd go with Come At Me. But it definitely looks like Tiandi is going to have a very, very interesting place on the battlefield. I mean, he has a very unique kit here. He's very dodge-heavy. I know we don't have class roles like traditional MMO roles in something like For Honor, obviously, but he does have a very, support feel to him with feats like this. This is a support Vanguard. He's getting people up, he's shielding them, he's shielding himself when he's critical, he's sacrificing health and then getting it back. And I think it's going to definitely mix things up in the 4v4 scene. So either way, guys, that's going to wrap up the video on Tiandi. I'll also have one coming your way on Shaolin, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And we'll catch you guys then with more of the Marching Fire update.